2 Samuel 15:2-4. He got up early every morning and went out to the gate of the city. When people brought a case to the king for judgment, Absalom would ask where in Israel they were from, and they would tell him their tribe. Then Absalom would say, "You've really got a strong case here. It's too bad the king doesn't have anyone to hear it. I wish I were the judge, then everyone could bring their cases to me for judgment, and I would give them justice." New Living Translation. Last week we discussed how Absalom allowed an offense to take seed in his heart, and it turned into a revengeful hatred. Today I want to take it a step further and discuss how Absalom's hatred toward his father turned the hearts of the people in the kingdom away from his father, the king, toward himself. Today you can see how subtle his method was. In his hatred, he plans to make himself important. He was smart, he was good-looking, and he had made an impression on the people living in the area. Seeing he could entice the people, he set about making a name for himself, causing the people to doubt the leadership ability of the king. He did this by hearing the complaints and issues of the people and endearing them to himself by telling them if he were in a position of authority, he would do something about their plight. Let's make that application to our hearts right now. How many times do we see this very thing happen in our churches? A few people begin to question the motives or abilities of a pastor. One person in particular comes to the front of this little group and begins to make themselves available to others who wish to vent about the pastor. This individual can't really do anything about the issues, although many times they think they can. But they lead this little group to believe they can, and they set out to take care of business. The authority of the anointed, appointed pastor is eroded by the undercurrent of this group and its leader. Now the group begins to watch everything done and listen to every word spoken by the pastor to catch them and bring the gaffe to the attention of others. The group grows. The innocent and young believers are caught up in the gossip. And soon the pastor finds himself in a position of no longer preaching with authority, but defending his life and ministry. Why? All because an Absalom sits at the front gate, listening to the complaints of the people and undermining the ability of the pastor to lead. Friends, this ought not be. I know there are pastors who need to move on, get their act together, maybe even get right with God, but there is nowhere in Scripture that teaches us to raise up Absaloms. We have numbers of places where we are taught to pray for our leaders, go to those who have offended us, get things worked out, live in harmony and peace, but nowhere are we taught to undermine the authority of leaders just because we think they are wrong. If you're reading this today and have issues with your pastor, please do me a favor. Take the time you would have used to talk about him to others and talk about him to God. Here is what I've learned. Either God will change them or God will change you. What more could you ask for?